There is a phantom haunting the modern man, a deep and pervasive frustration born from a simple, maddening paradox. You have done everything you were told was right, yet you feel unseen, unrewarded, and increasingly resentful. You are the dependable employee, the agreeable friend, the supportive partner. You are, in the common vernacular, the nice guy. Yet, the promotion goes to the assertive shark. The woman you desire is drawn to the confident rogue. Your agreeableness is mistaken for weakness, your kindness for a lack of ambition. You are left with a quiet, burning question. If being good doesn't lead to a good life, what is the point? This feeling is not a personal failure. It is a symptom of a profound psychological schism, a fracture in the male psyche that was diagnosed with chilling accuracy nearly a century ago. The diagnosis comes not from a self-help guru, but from one of the titans of psychology, Carl Gustav Jung. Jung's work was not about providing easy answers. It was about descending into the treacherous depths of the human soul to uncover the architecture of our inner world. He gave us a map, and on that map are two territories crucial to understanding the plight of the nice guy, the persona and the shadow. To understand this forbidden secret, we must first understand the tools of analysis. The persona, in Jungian terms, is the mask you present to the world. It is your collection of socially acceptable traits, behaviors, and attitudes. It is your job title, your handshake, your polite smile. It is the version of you that is designed for maximum social harmony and acceptance. A well-developed persona is necessary. It is how we navigate a complex social reality. We cannot and should not show every facet of our being to every person we meet. The problem arises when a man mistakes this mask for his entire face, when the persona is not a tool he wields, but a prison he inhabits. The nice guy is the quintessential example of an over-identification with a specific, socially approved persona. He has curated his mask to perfection. He is helpful, non-confrontational, and accommodating. But what happens to all the parts of himself that do not fit this pristine mask? What happens to the anger, the ambition, the selfishness, the aggression, the sexual desire? They do not simply vanish. They are repressed. They are cast into darkness. They are exiled to the second territory on our map, the shadow. The shadow is everything you are, but refuse to acknowledge. It is the sum total of your disowned self. It contains all the impulses, society, your upbringing, and your own fear have taught you that these parts are dangerous, and they are. But they are also the source of immense power. The great, dangerous secret Jung unearthed is this: the more pristine and one-sided the persona, the darker and more destructive the shadow becomes. The nice guy is not a man without darkness. He is a man who is dangerously unaware of his own darkness, and that makes him, paradoxically, more of a threat than the man who is on speaking terms with his inner monster. Let us dissect this phenomenon in the arenas where this psychic battle is most commonly waged. Consider the workplace. The nice guy employee is reliable. He stays late, takes on extra work without complaint, and never challenges his superiors. His persona is that of the team player. He sees his more aggressive colleague, the one who negotiates his salary, who pushes back on unreasonable deadlines, who takes credit for his own work, as a ruthless jerk. Yet, it is this colleague who gets the promotions, the raises, the respect. The nice guy is left seething in quiet resentment. He tells himself the system is unfair. He complains to his partner or his friends about the injustice of it all. This bitterness, This passive-aggressive commentary is his shadow, leaking out in uncontrolled ways. The ambition he denies in himself, he projects onto his colleague and labels it as cutthroat. The assertiveness he fears, he calls arrogance. His shadow contains the very tools he needs to succeed: the capacity for strategic selfishness, the ability to assert his own value, the courage to enter into conflict. By refusing to acknowledge and integrate these traits, he has not become virtuous. He has become ineffective. His repressed ambition doesn't disappear, it curdles into envy. His unexpressed dissatisfaction doesn't vanish. It manifests as passive resistance and a victim mentality. He has engineered his own stagnation because he is terrified of the parts of himself that are necessary for growth. Now, let us turn to the even more volatile arena of romantic relationships. Here, the nice guy persona operates on a flawed, unspoken premise. He believes in a kind of cosmic vending machine. If he inserts enough nice coins, compliments, favors, emotional support, constant availability, the machine is supposed to dispense the prize: affection, sex, loyalty, love. This is not genuine kindness. It is a transaction. It is a covert contract. He is not giving freely. He is making a down payment on an expected return. When the woman he desires does not reciprocate, or worse, chooses a man who is less nice but more confident and authentic, the nice guy's system collapses. The vending machine has malfunctioned. The contract has been breached. And it is in this moment of crisis that the shadow erupts. The man who was just yesterday a paragon of support and understanding suddenly becomes sullen, manipulative, or accusatory. He might say, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." This is not the language of love. This is the language of a failed business deal. The repressed parts of him, the raw sexual desire, he deemed predatory. The possessiveness he labeled toxic. The entitlement he knew was wrong. All come boiling to the surface, poisoned by their long imprisonment. They manifest in the ugliest of ways: accusations of being led on, bitter tirades about how women only want jerks, or a chilling retreat into cold, punishing silence. The woman in this scenario is not reacting to his niceness. She is reacting, often unconsciously, to the inauthenticity of the performance. She senses the neediness beneath the helpfulness. She feels the expectation behind every compliment. She intuits that his persona is a fragile construction, and she is right to be wary of what lies behind it. The confident man she chooses is not necessarily a jerk. He is often simply a more whole man, a man who is comfortable with his own desire, who is not afraid to state his intentions, whose yes means yes and whose no means no. He is not performing niceness. He is simply being. And that authenticity, even if it includes rougher edges, is infinitely more attractive than a flawless but hollow mask. The shadow, for the nice guy, holds his capacity for genuine courtship, for unapologetic desire, for the strength to walk away when his interest is not returned. By denying this part of himself, he denies himself the very power required to form an honest, compelling connection with another human being. This dynamic extends into all social interactions. The man who can never say no is not kind. He is a hostage to the approval of others. His inability to set boundaries does not make him a good friend. It makes him a doormat. His constant agreeableness is not a sign of a harmonious nature, but of a terrifying lack of a solid inner core. Every time he says yes when he means no, a small portion of his self-respect dies. This slow suicide of the soul is deposited into the shadow's account. And that account accrues a debt that will one day be paid, either through an explosive outburst of rage that seems to come from nowhere, or a deep, depressive apathy that smothers his entire life. The friend who suddenly cuts ties, the man who ghosts a social circle, the husband who abruptly leaves his family, these are often the actions of a man whose shadow has finally foreclosed on a lifetime of unhonored debts. Jung was clear. You cannot cheat your own psychic economy. Every trait you repress gains energy in the unconscious. It does not go away. It waits. This brings us to the core of the revelation, the climax of this uncomfortable truth. The dangerous secret that Jung's work reveals is that the nice guy is not a good man. Let that statement land. It is designed to be provocative because the truth it contains is so profoundly misunderstood. He is not a good man. He is an incomplete man. His niceness is not a moral achievement born from strength. It is a psychological strategy born from fear. He is afraid of conflict. He is afraid of rejection. He is afraid of disapproval. But most of all, he is terrified of the immense power residing within his own shadow. He fears that if he were to acknowledge his anger, he would become a monster of rage. If he were to accept his ambition, he would become a tyrant. If he were to embrace his sexual nature, he would become a predator. So he chooses the path of radical repression. He amputates these vital parts of himself and presents his neutered persona to the world, hoping for a reward that will never come. Here lies the greatest paradox. True goodness is not possible without the capacity for evil. A man who is simply harmless is not good. A sheep is harmless. A rock is harmless. Harmlessness is not a virtue. A truly good man is a man who has the capacity for great harm, a man who has confronted his own shadow, who understands his own potential for destruction and chooses not to act upon it. He chooses to be fair, not because he is incapable of being unfair, but because he has integrated his capacity for unfairness and decided against it. He is compassionate, not because he is ignorant of cruelty, but because he has stared into his own potential for cruelty and mastered it. This is the man who can be gentle because he knows how to be ferocious. He can be generous because he understands the pull of his own selfishness. The nice guy has no such choice. His niceness is a compulsion, not a decision. He is not mastering his darkness. He is running from it. And because he is running, he is not in control. His shadow owns him. It dictates his life through avoidance and fear. Its unacknowledged energy is the source of his anxiety, his depression, his gnawing sense of inauthenticity. The most dangerous aspect is that an unacknowledged shadow does not remain passive. It seeks expression. And when it finds it, it is often in the most twisted and destructive ways. This is the brutal truth. By trying to be perfectly good, the nice guy creates the conditions for his own potential for evil to run rampant, uncontrolled, and unconscious. So, what is the path out of this psychic prison? The solution is not, as some might suggest, to simply unleash the beast or become the jerk. That would be merely swinging from one side of a pendulum to the other, trading one incomplete persona for another, trading the nice guy mask for the alpha male caricature. The true path is infinitely more difficult and profound. Jung called it individuation. It is the process of becoming a whole, integrated individual. And the first, non-negotiable step on this path is what is known as shadow integration or shadow work. This is not a 5-step program, It is a lifelong commitment to brutal self-honesty. It begins with the deliberate act of turning your attention inward and asking the questions you have spent your entire life avoiding. Where does my resentment come from? What am I truly angry about? What do I secretly want that I am afraid to admit? What judgments do I cast upon others that are really reflections of my own disowned parts? You must look for the shadow in your projections. The traits that infuriate you most in other people are often signposts pointing directly to the contents of your own shadow. The arrogance you despise in your boss may be your own repressed ambition. The promiscuity you judge in another may be your own unacknowledged sexual energy. Shadow work is the process of withdrawing these projections, of ceasing to blame the world for your own inner state, and taking ownership of everything you are. It means accepting that you have within you the capacity for anger, for lust, for greed, for selfishness, for violence. Accepting this does not mean acting upon it indiscriminately. It means bringing it into the light of consciousness. When you consciously acknowledge your anger, you can learn to use its energy constructively. It can fuel your workouts, drive you to set boundaries, and give you the courage to speak truth to power. Unconscious anger becomes resentment and passive aggression. When you consciously acknowledge your ambition, you can channel it toward a noble goal, to build something of value, to achieve mastery. Unconscious ambition becomes envy and bitterness. This integration is the alchemical process of turning psychological lead into gold. You are taking the base, dangerous, raw material of the shadow and refining it into conscious power. This journey transforms you from a nice guy into something far more potent. A good man is not safe. He is dangerous. He is dangerous to tyranny, to injustice, to falsehood. He is formidable. His kindness is a choice, and therefore has weight. His compassion is a discipline, and therefore has strength. He is not loved because he is accommodating. He is respected because he is authentic. This is the paradigm shift that Jung offers. It is a move away from the simplistic, external morality of being nice and toward the complex, internal ethics of being whole. The modern world has sold men a lie. The lie is that your value lies in your harmlessness. It has encouraged the creation of a generation of men who are disconnected from the primal, necessary energies of their own psyche. The frustration you feel is a signal. It is your soul telling you that the mask is suffocating you. The resentment is a symptom of a psychic power outage. The solution is not to find a better mask. The solution is to have the courage to take the mask off, to turn around, and to face the shadow you have ignored for so long. It is in that darkness that you will find your missing half. It is there you will reclaim your power, your authenticity, and your capacity to become the man you were truly meant to be. This is not an easy path. It is a path of profound discomfort and startling self-revelation. But it is the only path. The choice is to remain a well-behaved, resentful, and incomplete boy, or to undertake the difficult journey of becoming a whole, and therefore truly good, man.